All right, y'all, let's go ahead now and bring in our next reporter, JD Conti, joining us now. Hey, bud, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. It looks like you also had a really cool day. Was this a museum that you went to as well?
So it's a traveling museum.
Oh, okay,
How about
cool.
that? So
That's
it's
awesome.
pretty cool. So it's the Daughters of the American Revolution. They're a national organization, and what you have to do to be a member of it is you have to be able to trace somebody in your family back to the American Revolution, and they don't have to necessarily have fought in it, but maybe somebody that supported it, maybe somebody that paid taxes to the colonies, maybe somebody that just gave troops that were in the Continental Army food as they were passing by. You have to be able to prove that somehow. It's a really cool organization. I believe that my great grandma was actually a DAR,
Yeah,
and so technically my mom could be if she wanted to, if we ever had the time to do that.
me too.
So awesome. There you go. Great connection. So it's a really cool organization that's keeping history alive. So they've got this exhibit that goes all around the country, but this one is actually just for Texas because the Texas DAR was like, we need our own because we're Texas.
Right, of
So
course.
exactly.
Absolutely.
So this one is just for Texas, and it's they got this because of America 250.
Yeah.
So it's going all around the state right now. It's in Kilgore. It's coming to Longview this summer. So it's at the Kilgore Public Library. If you've never been to the Kilgore Public Library, it's a gorgeous building. It was my
Yes, it
first
is.
time there this morning. Been all across East Texas, but I haven't been there before. It was awesome. So what this exhibit is, it's basically like I'm a history dork. I'm the son of a history teacher. What I was just talking about with my family. I mean, it was awesome. So they basically kind of go through the war and they tell these kind of stories of the unseen heroes, the people that people trace their lineage back to, whether it's, people that were freed slaves and they were fighting in the war, or, the women who were helping, and the people you wouldn't normally hear about. And obviously, there's the soldiers and stuff too, but the people you wouldn't normally hear about. And it's really cool to read some of those stories and also hear from the women involved and hear their stories. I talked to one woman, she's like, I can trace 20 people. And I'm like, that's insane.
That's wild.
That's
Yeah.
insane. So it's just really cool. And if you have some time, it's going to be there until February 12th. And then it's coming to Longview this summer. I don't have a date in the Longview one. And then if you're in the Kilgore area, they're having an event on Saturday from 10 to 2. They're calling it Super Saturday.
Okay.
So they're having a bunch of like boots and stuff. They're doing a bunch of colonial activities. They're doing rope making. They're doing
Oh,
like
that's
tried, they're having the hats and stuff. If you're looking for something
Are
to
you
do.
churning butter? Are you
Yes,
making old
yes,
school ice
yes.
cream?
I was trying to think of what else there was, and they are going to be churning butter.
And watching how they make old timey soap is amazing. Gotta
my,
be careful though.
Yeah, my grandparents usually actually used to have like the butter thing, like the big thing you would churn in. Like we never used it; it was just sitting in the house. But,
My grandma, she has, I call it the cauldron, but it's just
The cauldron,
giant,
yes.
like cast iron pot. And
Yep.
that's what they did their laundry in.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
And it
that's
is the coolest
old-fashioned.
thing. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so if you looking for something to do with the kids on Saturday, 10 to 2 at the Kilgore Public Library, awesome option.
And I know you said you had talked to quite a few people about
Yeah.
this event. Who are we about to hear from?
We're about to hear from Miss Dean. She was kind of the person in charge of all this for the DAR, so she's got some great family lore in this, and she kind of talks about the exhibit as well.
All right, here we go.
This display just talks about so many different heroes and how we actually came to win the American Revolution. I know when I learned it in history, and for most of us, I think we just come away and we know that we have freedom because of the American Revolution, but we don't stop and think about the sacrifices. They sacrificed their treasures, what they had worked for all their lives. Some of them, many of them sacrificed their lives and the lives of their families, but they knew they were working for the best cause, and it was freedom. And we just have so much we owe our patriots, and this is the best time to be grateful because it is America's 250th birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about your family and just kind of give me a brief rundown of that.
Okay, my patriot is Thomas Hardiman, and he fought in North Carolina, and his family, his daughter married a Holt, John Holt. And the funny thing is, he also fought in the Revolutionary War, And family history says that John Holt was an aide to General George Washington. Family history says that they think he was a bodyguard. And family history says that at the end of the war, George Washington gave him some silver knee buckles. But our relative John Holt melted them down into a spoon. And so family history says there was an aunt, must be my great-great-great aunt, who had it in a curio cabinet but lost the key. So we have no idea where that spoon might be. And I looked him up to try to get him as a patriot, but the records may have been burned. They said a lot of times where they were housed, certain records would not last. Yeah. So he's not my official one, but he's the son-in-law of Thomas Hardman.
Okay. Yeah. This is, you kind of hit on this, but why is this important? You saw the kids on the tablets and everything, and it's the 250th birthday. Why is things like this important?
Well, if you stop and think, if we had not gone to war against England, against the British, we would still be British subjects and maybe even still be paying taxes without having any representation. That was one of their first beefs with the crown. They said, you're taxing us, but not letting us represent our colonies. And that's why they did the Boston Tea Party. So we might have been a country that were still subject to Britain and not have our own free country. And every person needs to cherish that freedom. It's not guaranteed to keep going. So we must cherish that freedom and work for that.
And tell me about what y'all are doing on Saturday, the big ordeal.
Super Saturday was a brainchild of one of our members. And she said, don't give me a lot of time or I'll start thinking of more and more. So she came up with this idea to not move this, but to go outside and have stations and teach the kids and adults colonial skills in these different stations. She has connections with Boy Scouts, mountain men, a lady that tans hides, and she's going to bring some furs, and someone else who knows animal tracks. They're going to teach about that, make butter, how to make a rope. They will get to make a little length of rope, make a tri-cornered hat in colonial crafts, and we'll have some storytelling. There's some exciting children's American Revolution stories also.